Under the pale Gaza sky, the sound of engines hums faintly through the dusty air. A convoy approaches the southern city of Khan Younis, its led vehicle marked by the unmistakable symbol of the Red Cross. Behind it, buses rumble slowly across cracked roads carrying faces long absent from home. These are the freed Palestinians, men once held in Israeli prisons, now returning through the fragile corridor of a ceasefire. As the buses come into view, a tide of people surges forward. Families, neighbours and fighters crowd the roadside, waving flags and shouting prayers. A burst of gunfire erupts, not in anger, but in jubilation. For a people whose nights have been filled with the sound of bombardment, the sharp rhythm of gunfire now becomes the rhythm of celebration. They are shouting names, sons, brothers, husbands, names once whispered in grief, now called aloud with trembling joy. From the windows of the buses, tired faces look out. Some smile, some raise hands in salute. Others simply close their eyes and breathe the air of Gaza for the first time in years. The convoy inches forward, guided by Red Cross vehicles. Behind them, the landscape of southern Gaza unfolds, a patchwork of destruction and dust, where even the palm trees seem scorched. Yet today, the streets are alive. For the first time since the October war, Gaza celebrates not survival, but return. Hamas members line the roads, some firing rifles into the air in ceremonial salute. Others embrace the families waiting nearby. For them, this moment carries political weight, a show of strength after months of devastation, and a symbol of resilience that stretches far beyond the prisoners themselves. On one of the buses, a man presses his palm to the window. His face is lined, his expression steady. When the bus halts, he steps down slowly, kissed on the forehead by relatives he has not seen in years. He says only one line: "We came out of prison, we defeated the jailer, we returned to Gaza, and we will rebuild it, God willing." The words ripple through the crowd. We will rebuild it. In this land where nearly 90% of the population has been displaced, those 4 words feel like a national anthem of defiance. The men released today are part of the latest phase of the prisoner hostage exchange, a deal that has seen Israeli captives freed in exchange for Palestinians held across decades of conflict. The process, brokered under intense international mediation, forms a critical pillar of the Trump-brokered ceasefire, an agreement that has, for now, silenced the guns after 2 years of bloodshed. In Khan Younis, that silence is filled with emotion. The streets ring with chanting, "Long live Gaza." Children climb atop cars, waving Palestinian flags. Old women ululate, their cries piercing the dry air. Behind them, the banners of the factions flutter, green, red, black, symbols of identity and endurance that refuse to fade. Some of the returnees are frail. They walk with canes, supported by younger comrades. Others are visibly malnourished, their faces thin but their eyes bright. Doctors nearby whisper about the conditions in detention, the lack of sunlight, the months of isolation. Yet the men themselves speak only of what comes next. One freed detainee, his voice cracking, says softly to the camera, "Despite the devastation in Gaza, its beauty will always be better than the life we led in prison." For him, even the ruins are home. Even the ashes of Gaza are preferable to the cold cement of a cell. Another man, younger, lifts his hands toward the sky. He says, "We waited 1.5 years for this moment, and it has arrived. Thank God. Thank."
الله يكون اللي ظل مغادر، الله يكون الله
Their words carry the weight of a people too accustomed to endurance. Each statement, each chant, each tear becomes part of Gaza's collective vocabulary of survival. Around them, the celebration grows. Fighters in military fatigues fire their rifles in the air. Boys on rooftops light flares. Women embrace strangers. The Red Cross monitors look on quietly, marking the moment with the solemn professionalism of those who have seen both sides of war too often. In the distance, the ruins of Khan Younis form a stark backdrop, buildings half collapsed, streets torn by shelling. Yet even here, life insists on returning. Small stalls reopen. A man sells bread from a cart. Children wave flags made from cloth scraps. It is a portrait of Gaza's paradox, a place destroyed yet still alive. The exchange deal that brought these men home is part of the broader framework of the 20-point Gaza Peace Plan, introduced and enforced by US President Donald Trump in coordination with Egypt, Qatar and Turkey. Under this fragile arrangement, a ceasefire holds, monitored by regional and international observers. Israel has committed to phased withdrawals, while the Palestinian factions have agreed to a coordinated reconstruction effort. A massive $70 billion reconstruction fund, the largest in Middle Eastern history, has been pledged to rebuild Gaza's infrastructure, homes, hospitals and schools. But the work ahead is immense. More than 67,000 Palestinians were killed in the two-year conflict and hundreds of thousands remain displaced. In this context, the return of prisoners is not just a political event, it is a moral turning point. It symbolises the human face of the truce. These men return to nothing but rubble, yet they return with something no war could destroy: hope. Among the crowd, one woman holds up a photograph, her son still imprisoned in Israel. She whispers, "Next time, it will be him." For many families, this is not the end of the struggle, but the continuation of it through memory and faith. The sound of gunfire fades, replaced by prayer. Dozens kneel in the dust, their hands raised toward the grey horizon. Around them, the call to prayer begins to echo through the shattered minarets. For a moment, Gaza feels united, under God, under loss, under survival. Reporters on the ground describe a scene that oscillates between chaos and calm. People push forward to touch the freed men, to offer water, to weep upon their shoulders. Each hug becomes both reunion and farewell, reunion to a person, farewell to the war that consumed them all. Near one of the buses, a small boy stands silently holding a paper sign. It reads, in careful handwriting, "Welcome home, Uncle." He waits until a man steps down, his uncle, gaunt but smiling. The boy bursts into tears as the man kneels, embracing him tightly. Around them, cameras flash. It is one of those rare, unscripted moments that summarize the entire conflict: loss, endurance, and return. Further away, the Red Cross team documents the final arrivals. They have coordinated hundreds of releases in recent weeks: Israelis from Gaza, Palestinians from Israeli prisons, each exchange measured, verified, and witnessed. The process is slow, bureaucratic, but necessary. Every name checked, every identity confirmed. Beyond the immediate celebration lies a quieter, deeper reality. Gaza's recovery will take years. Entire neighborhoods in Khan Younis, Rafah, and northern Gaza have been flattened. Hospitals like Nasser and Shifa operate under partial capacity, their walls still cracked from airstrikes. Water and power remain scarce. Yet, in the ruins, new foundations are already being laid, symbolically and physically. Reconstruction teams, funded by the international coalition, are preparing to restore roads and rebuild homes. Engineers from Egypt and Turkey have arrived to assess infrastructure. The European Union has pledged technical aid, while Qatar has committed additional funds for humanitarian relief. It is the beginning of what many are calling Gaza's second reconstruction.
الحمد لله على سلامتكم يا سلامتكم يا سلامتكم يا شباب. وين احمد؟ عقبال الجميع يا رب.
But on this day, all that matters is the return. The faces stepping off those buses embody something that cannot be quantified in pledges or policies. They embody the persistence of a people who have refused to disappear. As the sun begins to set, the city of Khan Younis glows with a reddish hue. Smoke from celebratory gunfire hangs in the air, mixing with the dust of collapsed walls. Somewhere beyond the crowd, a muezzin's call blends with the cheers. A group of young men unfurl a banner across a burnt-out building. It reads simply, "We will rebuild." That phrase, first spoken by a freed prisoner, now becomes the slogan of the hour. It spreads across social media, across neighborhoods, across continents. From refugee camps in Egypt to hospitals in Gaza City, people repeat it like a prayer. We will rebuild. For them, rebuilding means more than bricks. It means restoring dignity, reclaiming life, reviving identity. It means proving that Gaza, though scarred, still stands tall. At the center of the crowd, an old man sits on a plastic chair, his eyes glistening. He was among the first generation of refugees who fled during the Nakba. Around him, the freed men embrace one another. He whispers quietly, "I have seen this before, and I will see it again." Every generation, Gaza rises. The celebration stretches into night. Headlights cast beams across the dusty streets as more buses arrive. Loudspeakers play patriotic songs. Somewhere, someone recites the names of those still detained. The list is long. Hundreds remain behind bars. But for tonight, hope overshadows grief. Internationally, images of the return flood the media. In Washington, Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff calls it a human dividend of diplomacy. In Cairo, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi hails the release as a testament to partnership. But in Gaza, politics seems far away. Here, amid the chants and tears, the story is simpler. Human beings coming home. By midnight, the streets of Khan Younis begin to quiet. The gunfire has stopped. The music fades. Families retreat to the few homes still standing or to tents pitched between ruins. Inside, they share bread and tea, recounting the moment their loved ones stepped off the bus. Some laugh, others cry, but all repeat the same words, "We will rebuild." For Gaza, this return marks not just the end of captivity, but the renewal of resolve. Every brick that will be laid in the coming months, every roof rebuilt, will carry the echo of these words. And for those still imprisoned, these images will travel through walls, a signal that Gaza remembers and Gaza endures. As dawn approaches, a calm silence returns to the southern city. In the distance, the first call to prayer breaks the horizon. It is the same sound these men heard through cell walls, now heard again under open skies. This is Khan Younis, Gaza, a city of rubble, of memory, and of rebirth. A city that whispers through smoke and silence, "We will rebuild."
الحمد لله على سلامتكم يا عم. الحمد لله على سلامتكم يا شباب.
سلام احمد جاد.
عقبال الجميع يا رب.
طلعنا من السجن وقهرنا السجان. طلعنا لغزة وراح نبنيها ان شاء الله. طلعنا وراح نبنيها ان شاء الله.
رغم دمار غزة وجمال غزة بضلوا أحلى من العيش اللي كنا عايشينها في السجن. سنة ونص بنستنى في لحظات الإفراج عنا، وتم بحمد الله الإفراج عنا والحمد لله على كل حال.